You want to know what it feels like to walk into a five-star hotel, reservation in hand, and watch a man in a suit whose name you don't even know yet size you up like a puzzle piece from the wrong box and decide, right there, you don't belong? That's how it started for me. And let me tell you, nothing wakes you up faster than being mistaken for lost or worse. A liar in front of an audience that pretends not to notice but hangs on every word. Yeah, that happened. The general manager didn't even bother to lower his voice. Get her out of the lobby now. She's either lost or lying. We don't rent 1,200 euro suites to people carrying backpacks. That wasn't a warning, it was a verdict. You know what I mean? Let me back up a sec, because I want you to feel the air in that lobby, marble floor shining, staff moving like extras in some silent movie, everyone pretending the world's fair when it's anything but. It was late October in Hamburg, cold drizzle outside, the kind that soaks into your bones. I stepped out of taxi, jeans, sneakers, a clean trench, just me and my backpack. No fancy luggage, no assistant, no I'm someone important sign on my forehead. Just a reservation, paid in full top floor grande suite, park view, the works. Nobody at the front desk even tried to hide their judgment. Anya, the receptionist, barely looked up. Do you need directions? She asked, skipping right over hello. I told her no, I've got a reservation. Simone Taylor. Blank stare. She checked her screen like it might spit out a different answer if she willed it hard enough. That's when the manager class howled up, silver hair, expensive watch, and the confidence of a man who's never had to second-guess his own place in the world. He didn't greet me, didn't even speak to me. He leaned toward Anya and said, "Get her out. She's either lost or lying." I could have let it slide, but honestly, I've worked too hard, lived too long, and learned too much to keep my head down and swallow that kind of thing. So I spoke up, calm as Sunday morning. I'm Simone Taylor. I booked the Grande Suite. Here's my confirmation. He snatched the paper, scanned the screen, saw my name clear as day, and you could see it hit him for a split second. Then just as quickly, he covered. Assign her a standard double on the third floor. No view, no lounge access. She'll be fine. No épalier. No welcome. Just a key card and a cold shoulder. I walked to the elevator, passing a line of staff who wouldn't meet my eyes, pulled out my phone, and typed, "They failed the test." Next steps. Didn't send it. Not yet. I needed to see how far they'd go. Room 312 was nothing like the suite I booked. Overlooked the delivery lot. Smelled of bleach, thin towels. Not even a bottle of water to greet me. I just sat on the bed, hands folded, listening to the silence. This wasn't the first time I'd been underestimated, but there was something sharper about it here. It wasn't about me. It was about what this place stood for, the culture behind the curtain. By late afternoon, I wandered down to the executive lounge, the one my suite was supposed to grant me access to. The second I walked in, conversations dipped, eyes flicked up and down, that feeling, when everyone clocks you as not one of us. I sat by the window, just wanting tea, but the server skipped my table twice. Then Marcus, security, comes up, stiff as his blazer. "Excuse me, ma'am. This area is for hotel guests only." I told him I'm a guest. "Which room?" 312. "That's not a suite level," he said, trying to shoo me off like I'd wandered in from the street. "I booked the Grande Suite. It includes this lounge." "You're not on the list," he shrugged, already bracing to call backup. I looked him straight in the eye. "So, I don't fit the profile, is that it?" He fumbled, and right on cue, Klaus showed up, his face tight. "You don't have lounge privileges. Please leave." You could hear the judgment in his voice, clear as crystal, like this space had been reserved for a different kind of guest. I didn't argue. I just gathered my things and left. No scene, just silence, so heavy you could hear a crack. Outside, under the stone archway, I finally called Thomas, our CFO. They failed. Get Sabine on site. Full authority. It's time. Sometimes you don't have to shout to change a room. You just need to show up and stand your ground. Night fell fast. I walked back into the hotel, the lobby quieter now, and as I passed the front desk, I felt the shift. Not fear, anticipation. Sabine arrived minutes later, regional director, cool under pressure. She handed me a folder, ownership docs, stamped, sealed. We called Klaus into the lobby, staff hovering at the edges, all eyes pretending to look away, but not missing a word. Mr. Ritter, you can start by apologizing for the way you treated me, for downgrading my room, for having me escorted from the lounge. He tried to push back, said it was just protocol. Sabine stepped in, voice sharp. Your protocol was prejudice, plain and simple. I laid the papers in front of him. As of this morning, I became controlling shareholder of this group. I am your employer now. For the first time, his confidence cracked. Effective immediately, you're terminated. He just stood there, stunned, waiting for someone to rescue him, but nobody did. Silence. It was justice, but not vengeance. I turned to the staff, Anya, Marcus, all of them. You had a choice to see me. You chose not to. It wasn't about making them small. It was about making them see how easy it is to dismiss someone when they don't fit your idea of what luxury looks like. Daniel, an older guest, stood up, shook my hand. About time someone like you owned a place like this. I smiled. Someone like me already did. You're just catching up. Back in the suite, I finally let myself breathe. It wasn't relief, it was resolve. Sabine called an emergency staff meeting. No punishments, just truth. What happened was predictable, she said. And that's exactly what has to change. Mura, the young doorman, brought me the first draft of a new guest policy and told me I reminded him of his Aunt Quiet's strength, overlooked too often. I told him, you both deserve better. That hit me, not because it was surprising, but because it wasn't. The next morning, the hotel felt different. No big announcements, no cameras, just a shift you could feel in the way people moved. I met the staff, told them straight, you've been trained in rules, but you've never been taught how to see people. That changes now. We launched the human standard, empathy, and anti-bias training for every employee, every promotion tied to values, every complaint about discrimination reviewed by a diverse board. Not about punishment, about purpose. A week later, I stood in front of the staff, told them, people want to be seen, that's it. And one by one, they committed to change, not for me, but for themselves. The energy in the hotel warmed. Guests noticed. Reviews trickled in, words like finally felt seen. Not because of a script, but because we remembered to be human. A live stream went out across all our properties. I spoke not as a CEO, but as someone who'd been invisible one too many times. This isn't a rebranding, I said, this is a rebirth. We're here to create belonging, not exclusivity. We're not here to impress. We're here to understand. It was never about me. It was about what happens when you build a culture that lets people be themselves. You want a cinematic ending? Picture Thism, sitting quietly by the window, no plaque, no trophy, just the city lights and a sense that something real had shifted. Downstairs, staff moving softer, guests being greeted for who they are, not what they look like. I looked at a photo of my mom on my desk. She'd cleaned hotel rooms for 28 years, never thanked by name, but always the heart of the house. This was for her. For everyone who's ever been told they didn't belong. Here's the twist. The part they'll argue about in the comments. Real change is slow. Some people wanted me to fire everyone, to make a scene, but that's not how you build something that lasts. You do it quietly, with standards, not shouting. That's what respect looks like: steady, relentless, human. So what do you think? Who gets to decide what belonging means? One man in a suit, or all of us together? If you've ever been judged by how you look, what you carry, or how quietly you walk into a room, drop a comment below. Share your story. Because respect isn't a luxury, and maybe if enough of us agree, we can make it standard.